Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see here, this is my custom Lego Omni Man. Somebody asked for me to make invincible customs, and of course I figured who better to start with other than Omni Man, who is of course my favorite character. Now before I actually get into how I made this guy, I am beginning to run out of space for all my customs, which means I'm going to need to find some of them a new home if I'm going to continue to make customs. I don't want to just scrap them. So the plan currently is to sell some of my minifigures on eBay, and I'm going to take the money that I make and use that money towards the channel, because it takes money to make money, and I do want to grow my YouTube channel, and for that to happen a lot of times it means that I'm going to have to make some sacrifices for the money. Joker and Bane, as you can see here, are two that are already on eBay. And any custom that you've seen in my videos, with an exception of maybe like 10 of my favorites, will most likely be up for sale. If you just, comment on a video and say, hey, I'd like to buy these, then I would be more than happy to sell them. Because it gives me more room for making customs, and, well, I would hope that you guys wouldn't be, too disgusted receiving some of my customs as well. So yeah, I got the idea whenever I was on eBay earlier looking for something and saw that somebody's hand-painted custom was going for like $600. Now, of course, I'm not going to do that because that's outrageous. No Lego figure is, in my opinion, ever going to be worth $600. So I'm going to try to keep mine between like $50 to $60, just given the amount of time that I actually do put into these guys. Like Omni Man here is already on eBay. He's going to be about $50. So yeah, anyways, I did want to kind of update you guys on that. So, of course, any minifigure that you're interested in, just kind of go back and comment on a video, and I will most likely put that on eBay for you. So, Omni Man here. It's actually a relatively simple minifigure. I tried to make it, as, I don't know, close to like Lego as I could, almost like a CMF. I didn't go too above and beyond like I do for some of them, just because there's not a Lego Omni Man out there, and likely never will be. I used a heavily modified Tony Stark head for, his head. For his hair, as you can see whenever I go around, I have kind of painted it to where he has that gray. I'm actually going to have to go back and paint over that, so I'm just now noticing it on camera. The torso is just painted. I erased a regular minifigure torso just to make it easier, because white paint is a pain in the butt to work with. I did in fact spray it with some of this, so it should be pretty dang hard to get all the paint off of the minifigure. However, that also means it's going to be slightly harder to move the minifigure joints. In fact, I would say this is kind of just for display, so I wouldn't even do that. I mean, you can move the arms and whatnot, and I did paint on the inside of those. However, it's extremely difficult. I did my best to try to make the legs look as dual molded as possible, and once again, I think it works very well. I'm actually really happy with how this guy turned out. Of course, the arms, there you have that. And then the cape, I did go through and I used a regular minifigure cape, and I kind of just cut it to where it would, I didn't want there to be the piece of cloth around his neck. I didn't think that looked very good. So I did kind of like cut it up a little bit to shape it and whatnot. But yeah, there's my Omni Man, and as I said, next is going to be Invincible. So I'm excited to make him, and I'm going to have the link to buy this guy in the comments if anybody, or in the description, sorry, if anybody wants to do that. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.